Hey guys, back on our YouTube video. Today it's going to be an update video, and this is on the lot of knives my buddy Tango gave me. And these are the ones I've gotten done with so far. And thought I would show off which ones I'm keeping, which ones I'm selling, and which ones I would just be keeping for myself. And the ones I just threw in my junk pile. The first ones I threw in my junk pile were these cheapo Victorinox lookalikes. Can't really get much use out of these. I mean, they're as cheap as they get. So these will just be thrown into my scrap bin. Basically, my scrap bin's a whole bunch of knives that ain't worth selling, ain't worth keeping. The kind of knives I would just give to somebody, not even charge them anything. And then next is on this broken Gerber knife. And sadly, this one I cannot use any parts out of because I actually already have one. Where is that? There it is. This is the serrated version. And you can see which parts are missing. And sadly, I don't have the stuff to repair this with, so I'll probably still keep this just for the blade, but if not, I'll probably just throw it in my scrap bin. That one back up. Next is on this large lockback I restored, and came out really nice. It's a nice Japanese large lockback. I patched all the cracks in the wood and put a nice bail on it and cleaned it up completely and put a new washer in it because the original one was gone. And this one I am keeping because I love the Japanese stuff and I love how nicely well made this is. It does feel a little bit cheap, but heck, I still like it regardless, and I do love Japanese stuff. Beautiful. So that's going to look great in my collection. Next is on this whitler knife that I got in from my buddy Tango. This one actually turned out to be a Ken cutter. A Ken cutter whitler, which I don't have one of those at all. Let me get my pliers, because this blade doesn't like to come out on its own. And sadly, the blade was broken, but I re-tipped it and cleaned up the blade, brought the logo back together, cleaned up the bone handles, cleaned the inside, yada, yada, yada. And this one's going in my personal collection because I don't have many Ken cutter knives. And I loved how this turned out. Beautiful. Next is on these Zippo knives. Those who remember, a good majority of those knives were Zippos, and this is the plastic-handled version. Again, I'm keeping this one. And this is the mini slip joint version that I cleaned up. Again, I'm keeping that one. And next is the other stainless versions that I'm keeping. This one actually looks just like this one, except without a spring. And I smoothed them out and then hand sanded them by hand, and then polished them all up and cleaned up the blade. Beautiful knives. Again, that looks great in my collection. And my father actually bought the other one of this because there was actually a couple groups of these. Like a couple of them had basically non-flush pins but perfectly functional springs and tangs. So I did those. And then a couple of them had the nicks in the blades, as you saw. So my father bought one. I kept the other one. And overall still. And these ones, I'm still going to wait to get the steel on because they're missing one of the main tension parts that keeps the spring in tension. So I'm going to work on those last. But so far, these are the 3 Zippos I'm personally keeping because I like how unique they are. Next is on these 2 right here, these little spikes. Sucks, they're made in China. I've already cleaned this one up. Reshined the plastic and brought it back to a good condition. Sadly, the screw broke inside the spring. Inside the clip. But the only reason I'm keeping is I love how slim this design looks. I love how slim that looks. That thing really looks like it could jab at you. And here's one I haven't cleaned up just to show you the difference. And I plan on cleaning this one up too, and I'll probably give this one away to somebody, but I'm keeping one of these for myself because I love the design. There's those. Next is this one, this Gerber. I forgot what model this is called. This one I'm keeping as well because I've got the little brother to go with it. So this one I'm keeping as well. Next is on these Zippos. These are actually already for sale. These are on our eBay account. And what makes these slightly different is the pins were already flushed and they just needed to be repolished. But as you can see, one has a severe nick in the blade, and apparently Case would do that when these were not up to the quality standard, so they would be thrown out. And overall, I got about 3 of them, but they're still perfectly functional, ready to go pocket knives, and they will look great in anybody's collection. And these are on eBay as we speak. So if you're interested in buying these, happily go on eBay and our eBay account, and you'll be able to buy them. The only thing wrong with them is that severe nick in the blade. Other than that, they're perfectly functional knives. Next is on this mysterious tool I talked about. Me and my father actually found out about this. This is a bleeding tool, or a fling, I guess these would be called. And we found out some pretty interesting information. This particular one was made between 1850s to 1860s. And the description of one of these, it said this particular style was mostly used for veterinarians, but the description said these have also been used on people as well, because they were used for both tasks. So it would not be surprising if somebody used this for a person. And this one I am not keeping. I am putting this one for sale because I don't keep doctor stuff like this. It just really creeps me out. But this one's on eBay as well if you're interested in buying it. Next is this one I restored. Again, the blades came from an Imperial Ireland knife that really wasn't in the best shape. So I took the blades out and put them in these beautiful aluminum handles. The springs and the handles I already had. The blades are the only things that was new. And it came out gorgeous. Again, this one is for sale as well. Next is this German knife. This one actually says A&W Wensworth and Sons, Germany. Real mother of pearl handles. Blades sadly could be in better shape, but they are clean. There's no rust on it, and it's on eBay as we speak. Beautiful knife. Alright, that's all the ones I've got to show. And just to show you an example of how many of them I haven't got to yet, here's an example of the ones I haven't got to yet. But eventually I will. It's just a slow process doing most of these by hand. But overall, thank you very much, Tango, for the haul. I'll definitely be putting some of these for sale because I do need the money. But I am keeping 3 of the stiletto knives, and my father bought one for himself. And there's a couple more I'll be keeping, and I'll show those once they're cleaned up. I definitely want to keep this one because it's got a military stock number, but I haven't cleaned it up yet because I've been busy. And anyway, so I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I look forward to showing some more of these that are cleaned up. And I hope you've enjoyed, and as always, stay sharp.